Here we go.
Hey, you are back here on Things They Never Taught Us um, with my guy Craig,
Yep.
Dan on 5AZ 24/7. Here's the big one. Get out your parents' house.
Right.
Get out the basement. Get your name off the orange juice, please. Mama,
Right.
who drank my orange juice? My
Right.
name was on it.
You ain't replacing the juice. You ain't going
Yeah.
grocery shopping to replace the groceries.
You
You
ain't coming
staying
from
up late at night, stumbling in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning from the
with
club.
somebody that you didn't tell your mama who's you having over in the company. Uh, Daniel, this is not your house. Who is
Right.
that downstairs?
You a guest.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Who y'all not over there praying? What are y'all doing downstairs in the basement?
Right. Don't be trying
Daniel
to be. Don't be making no
Sterling
babies.
Davis. Can I speak with you? Oh,
Mm.
I gotta get up.
Okay.
I didn't know your middle name was Sterling. You weren't supposed to
Right.
find that out, girl. Just go sit down.
Exactly.
All right. Anyway, got to get out your parents' house. And so I know that if you're getting into an apartment, you got to have first and last month's rent. If you are going to get into a house, which is eventually what you're going to try and get to, you're going to need to have, I think, what is it, 20%, whatever the
Hmm.
value is of the home. So we're talking about
Yep.
some big, big money. But if you have done the right thing while you're in your parents' home, you saved your money, you haven't gone out and got a big fancy car and spent a whole lot of money on clothes and everything. You kind of did everything in a good stair step and a lock in, and you didn't get a bunch of credit cards. Craig is going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you too. You only need one. Be careful of the one that you get. Hopefully, it's paying you something as you are purchasing something that you're paying it off, and maybe get some airline miles or something like that. All credit cards ain't made the same. You got to do your research on that. I'm not here to tell you which ones to go to and what not to go to, but I want you to be very careful about the initials A and E.
It's a
Because when they
trap.
say when they say don't leave home without it,
Yeah.
they gonna want their money at the end of the month. Trust.
It's a trap. Credit cards is a trap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To
No,
keep
no doubt about
it's designed to keep you in debt as with the rest of what is being marketed to you to be a consumer. Okay, you have to pay that money back.
it. No, no, wait a minute. I just had to pay the minimum.
No, you'd be paying
Marshall's
that forever.
Marshall's
Right.
TJ Maxx and Ross told me, hey, as soon as I go to buy something, they're like, hey, you want a credit card? I'm like, sure. You're gonna give me a $2,500 limit? Oh, I could have got a whole lot, bunch more stuff. And all I gotta pay is a $20 minimum?
Right.
Come
And you'll be
on.
paying that for years, and you don't have that kind of time, and your parents don't have that kind of time for you to be there.
Come
Okay,
on. Come on,
it's
Craig.
about you.
I just want to get some more clothes.
Yeah. Okay.
I
All
just want to
right.
buy I gotta buy some towels and some bathroom accessories and I gotta buy stuff for the house.
All that. All that. Yes, you do. Yes, you
But
do.
but you're telling me I gotta be careful about how I spend that money.
You gotta be careful how you spend that money. You gotta know where your money's going and to see what you got left. Because you gotta figure out what that rent payment's gonna be because their landlord want that rent. Because after 5 days, you're gonna have a notice on your door telling you gotta get out.
And somebody's gonna put you out on the street
And
with your
right.
stuff. And
You
your
don't
neighbors are
want
gonna be
that.
looking at that nice stuff that you just bought, that nice 70 something 5-inch flat screen TV. You may not be there when you get there because they
Okay.
got
You
they
don't
done
want
grabbed
that.
your
You,
stuff
you don't
out.
want that kind of smoke. You do not want that smoke. So,
Don't believe your parents won't do the same thing to you. So
okay.
you can't make that rent money? Oh, that new TV you just got downstairs in the basement? That's going upstairs in my room.
Right. That's
That's my
mine now.
TV.
Exactly.
That new car
So,
you just got that I told you not to buy, them keys is mine.
so what we're trying to say, we're trying to put it all together for you folks. Now, we have talked about paying yourself first, but we
Yes.
also talked about as far as your career and income. You want to move around in the industry that you're in, right? We've told you how to interview to get the kind of position and to get a better position and better and higher income. We talked about how you fluff up your salary on your job applications after you get it. You
Mm-hmm.
all of these things as part of your strategic plan to get yourself up and running and independent. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be you got to lead a nest. You can't just sit up under your mama and them house. Look, as you get older, you're gonna find it very hard to date somebody when you're talking
Ooh.
about you living at home with your mama. Take it from somebody who had to move back in their parents and when I was past the age of 40 because I got divorced. Okay.
Mm.
Take it from someone who knows this.
Mm.
Okay? Take it from someone who knows what it's like to be a single parent with a child and to have women who don't have children find out that you have a kid and go, oh, yeah, no, no, Craig, we can't be going out. Ain't that
That
something?
that's what women have gone through when they
Yeah,
got kids, and some men have said, "I'm not dating no woman with no kids."
right.
There
And
there lies the situation, right?
right, the
Oof.
flip side of that. So believe me, I know what that is like. Okay, I know what that's like. So you have to get out and be independent, and have your own place. Like I said, the advice I gave my son: stack your money, get your castle, then go find your queen. All right, don't.
And so I like the ideal of saying, stack your money, but I always like to put things in a reality. So while you are at home,
Mhm.
talking to the audience who's at home, in their parents' home, and they told them, hey, you can stay here, let's say your money. What you need to be doing while you are at home is I need you to look at what the apartment that you really want to stay in, what
Right,
that's going to cost. What's the mid level? What's that going to cost? And what's the bare minimum apartment that you can get out with?
right.
I also want you to look at what it's going to look like 5 years or 10 years down the line when you want to go look at a house and think
Hmm.
about the increasing of the values.
Hmm.
So, what neighborhood do you want to move to? If you're thinking about moving to another city because you listen to Craig and say, hey, Craig, there's opportunities everywhere. And you're going to know that, oh, in 2 or 3 years, this state, North Carolina, is going to have a lot more opportunities for me because there's growth in the opportunity in the industry and everything else. Okay, what's the cost of living like to live there in that city? What are the home values? You can get all this stuff on the internet. You can get on Zillow and find out neighborhoods and streets and all these other
Absolutely.
kinds of things. But you need to know what these things cost. Like we talked about with the cars. You need to know what the cost of the car is, what he's going to take to maintain it. These are all the things that you need to do when you're talking about where you're going to be living. With that being said, how then do I look at my 75 or 80% or however I need to adjust it?
Hmm.
How do I look at what percentage that I have to save for what the future is going to hold
Hmm.
after I've looked at and took care of everything else as far as my bills and my responsibilities? Because the one thing that you did say, and Craig is going to tell you this, get good at money on his book, that you got that brokerage account and you paid yourself first. It came out automatically, like your
Hmm.
Netflix or your DoorDash account. It
Your
came out
gym membership.
automatically. Yeah,
Right.
it came out automatically. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about what you're doing with the chunk of that direct deposit. And after you've taken care of your expenditures, what am I putting forward to where's my next place that I'm going to lay my head?
Right. You have to find out what that current rent is. Let's say you want to rent an apartment. Find out what the rent is. Then start positioning yourself or practicing putting that amount away every month.
That's kind of like what somebody told me about when you want to purchase a car that you haven't gotten yet.
Hmm.
There's a Tony Pete. I know my girl is listening. Tony Pete's uncle, I sat with him, wealthy dude, lived in the Palisades. He saved his money to purchase an S-Class Mercedes. And what
Hmm.
he told me was he simply said, I found out how much the car was going to cost me per month and what the insurance was, and I simply put it away.
Yep.
He said, I stacked that money for 5 years, had more than enough. And when I walked to the dealership, I didn't even have to buy it new, but I could have bought it new, but I found something that was used of what I wanted. And he paid cash for it
Yeah.
because he had it, because he literally said, I'm going to pay it now,
Hmm.
ride in my car until then. And it wasn't a struggle buggy for him. He was probably rolling in something nice, but I'm going to get my Mercedes and
Yeah.
I'm walking in and out.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that mindset of, because you talked about it in the previous segment about stay disciplined.
Hmm.
You said get to the bank, manage your debt, and then you started talking about stay disciplined. That sounds like to me like that's a prime example of what discipline means.
Hmm.
It's delaying your gratification, laying the groundwork, and then the payoff at the end come.
It's
Am
consistent
I saying that
preparation.
right?
I frame it this way. It's consistent preparation. You're consistently preparing for what it is that you said that you want. And you have to, on a consistent basis, take steps toward that goal, day in, day out. If you had that apartment or you wanted to get that apartment, what would you do today to get that apartment? And keep that mindset until you get it. That's how you have to stay focused. And if you have debts, you have to chop down those debts to free up the cash for you to be able to afford that rent. Or there's two ways to go about it. Either you decrease your debt or you increase your income.
Hmm.
Those are your
Put
two. Those are the
put
two
that on a
ways.
t-shirt.
Either you decrease your debt or
Huh.
you increase your income. And
Uh.
so that's why I was saying either you find, keep working the job market and you find yourself a better job to increase your income, or you come up with a side hustle for yourself to generate your income. Because, like we were talking about off camera, you are not going to get wealthy just
Mm-mm.
working your 9 to 5. It's
Mm-mm.
not going to happen. It isn't. You have to put in some extra effort. So you let your main job pay your bills, you let your side hustle pay for the things that you want.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm
Find out.
I'm
And if you're fortunate enough, have it be something that you like. Here's what you do. Find Have an honest conversation with you. What is it that you enjoy doing? Once you identify that, how can I have that make money for me? Because then it's not like work. You're having fun. You enjoy it. You do it for free. But if you can find a way to monetize it where it makes money for you, now you are able to get the things that you want. You can go ahead and get the house that you want. You can get into the apartment that you want because your main job is paying your bills. But what you do on the side, or if you start your own business and get income that way, then now you can afford the things that you want. Okay. For me, fortunately, I was fortunate enough, I fell in love with the stock market and investing. So, like I told you when we first met on our initial interview, I saw that 2020 segment in college that scared the crap out of me about
hmm.
people retiring, and then having to go back to work. So, put the blue shirt on and the khakis and all that. And I didn't want that to be me. So I set out from that day forward, back in the 80s, to learn as much as I could about money. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. I could talk about the stock market all day long. Okay? Because I enjoy it. It's not like work for me. Like I told you before, it's my part-time job that happens to be making me money. I enjoy it. I made $1,000 today in the stock market.
Stop playing. I know you did. But we're not gonna sound like those Manosphere commercials. They trying because Craig ain't trying to get you to get into a monthly subscription to get his advice and all that stuff. You better check out Money Ministry. You better check out Get Good at Money and Craig
Hey,
McKinnis. That's all I'm gonna tell you. We've been
I'm
saying
sure
it
you
all the
right
way through
here.
it, man. Go get it. But he ain't
Go
trying
get
to
it.
charge you no money for all that kind of advice. Okay, so I love
Oh,
it. I get it. The thing that I would probably put a footnote to this simply is that if you can't visualize it and then go get the information about what it really is, then you're trying to kiss a beautiful woman in a dark room.
hmm.
She can't see you,
Right,
and you
right,
don't know where she is.
right.
So then what come on now. You got to
See, the
have
problem that I see with a lot of the people in the younger generation is they think, they look at their parents and they see the things that their parents have gotten and accumulated, and they think it just happens. It does not just happen, folks. Y-
because
it-
we don't share with our kids about how we really got it.
right? And that's parents' fault. You need to share and show them and teach your kids to struggle. Don't give them everything. I tell young parents all the time, you are not raising a child. You're
Hmm.
raising an adult.
Hmm.
You're raising an adult. You're not raising a child. Okay? So you have to have them be able to figure shit, excuse me.
Hey, no worries.
Have
We
to
can say that
figure
on Vibe AZ 24/7. Figure that ish out.
they have to learn how to make decisions and figure some things out. You don't let them hit rock bottom, but you let them get grazed a little bit. You let them bump their head a little bit to try to figure stuff out. I used to tell my son, "Hey, Dad, I got this problem, you know, blah 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 blah." Okay, what do you think you should do?
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back here on things they never taught us. Because your parents are probably listening to this right now, like, he need to bump his head. That's right. Let him bump his noggin coming here at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with that girl. She stank. Should have left her at the club. I ain't messing around. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back on 5AC 24/7. It's your man, Dan and Craig. Things they never taught us.